10 years from now, you won't remember most of what you were overthinking about, but you will remember the life you didn't let yourself live because of it. At first, overthinking doesn't feel like sabotage, it feels like strategy. You feel like you're being smart and responsible, like you're buying yourself time to figure out the right move. But somehow, the more you think, the more stuck you feel. That's why you delay decisions, question your instincts, and convince yourself you're not ready until the idea of changing your life starts to feel impossible. You don't just question your next step, you start to question yourself. And even when you know you're stuck in a spiral, you can't stop. Hey, I'm Tracy, and I spent years trapped in a life I didn't want, overthinking every single step toward change. But everything shifted when I finally understood what overthinking was really trying to protect me from. And the tools I'll share in this video helped me take the leap that changed everything. In this video, I'll show you why overthinking hits the hardest right before a big life change and exactly what to do when it does. These tools will help you get calm, get clear, and take a step forward without needing all of the answers. So let's start with why it hits so hard in those moments. Overthinking usually doesn't show up when you're playing it safe, it shows up the second you try to do something different, when you're standing in front of a decision that actually matters to you. And that's not a coincidence. It's your brain trying to protect you from uncertainty by giving you the illusion of control, from regret by convincing you that more time will lead to a better decision, from failure by keeping you in research mode forever, from rejection by making you imagine what other people might think, and from being wrong by never letting you fully commit. But more than anything, it's trying to protect you from the fear that maybe you're not cut out for the life you really want. Because as long as you're just thinking about it without ever acting on it, you never have to find out. Taking steps towards change comes with real risk, and that's when overthinking steps in. Not to solve the problem, but to stall the leap. It says, let's stay here a little longer. Let's run every scenario until this feels safe. But here's the catch, it never feels safe because leaving what you know always feels risky, even when it's right. But uncertainty is unavoidable if you actually want to change your life. So, if that's true, what now? If you can't think your way to certainty, how do you move forward anyway? That's where this first tool comes in. Number one, stop asking what if and start answering what now. Overthinking thrives on unanswerable questions. What if I fail? What if I regret it? What if I never recover? These questions don't lead to clarity, though. They lead to paralysis. So here's the practice. When your mind starts spiraling into what if, interrupt it by asking, what now? What do I know right now? What can I control? And what step can I take from here with what I have? What if creates panic? What now creates movement? So here's how this would look in action, and I'll use myself as the example. I've decided to let go of my apartment, sell most of my belongings, and give myself time and space to explore a different kind of life, one with more freedom and creativity and alignment than the one I've been stuck in. So before making the decision, overthinking tried very hard to talk me out of it. So I would cycle through these questions. One, what do I actually know right now? Not what am I afraid of, but what is true? I know I've been unhappy in my current life for a long time. I know I felt the calling to do something radically different. And I know staying where I am feels heavier than the fear of change. Number two, what's in my control right now and what isn't? This helps me focus on what's mine to carry. I can't control how other people will react or whether it all works out, but I can control what I take with me, what I let go of, and the kind of energy I bring to each choice along the way. Number three, what's one small step I can take today? You don't need the whole plan, just the next step. And for me, that looked like reaching out to my landlord to ask about lowering my lease terms, asking my parents if I could stay with them temporarily, writing a letter to myself about what I hoped was change could bring. Now, these weren't huge moves, but they were real, and they helped me go from circling the decision to slowly stepping toward it. So tool number one is all about movement, but sometimes forward isn't the answer, at least not right away. Because when your body's in a panic, your brain can't think straight. And that's where tool number two comes in. Tool number two, regulate first, decide later. So overthinking feels like a thinking problem, but a lot of the time it's actually a feeling problem. Your body picks up on fear or uncertainty, maybe from a big decision you're about to make or all of the unknowns that come with that change. And your brain races to make that discomfort disappear. It tries to think its way to safety. But the more you think about the fear, trying to predict it or avoid it or control it, the more anxious you become. And the more anxious you feel, the more you spiral into overthinking. So you either can't make a decision at all, or you make one out of panic, and those rarely turn out well. So the most powerful thing you can do isn't figure it out faster. It's to calm your system so you can think clearly again. And here's how. Start by noticing, what is the dominant feeling here? Is it fear of the unknown, or guilt for leaving something or someone behind? Perhaps pressure to get it perfect, or grief over what you're letting go of, or maybe doubt that you're even capable of doing this. Now, you don't have to fix the feeling, just name it. Because when you name an emotion, you're stepping out of it just enough to stop being completely swept up in it. You create a little space between you and the feeling, and that space is so powerful. It signals to your nervous system, we're not in danger right now. We're just observing. And once your system gets that message, it becomes much easier to regulate. And that's why naming it comes first, because it lays the groundwork for the next step. So once you've named the feeling, try one of these simple nervous system resets. They are quick and they're gentle, and they're designed to help your body feel a little bit safer so that your mind doesn't have to work so hard. Now, the first one is so simple but surprisingly powerful. Just take a long exhale with sound. Breathe in through your nose and let out a big audible sigh. Do this 2 or 3 times to signal to your nervous system it is okay to slow down. And the next one is perfect if your mind is racing and your heart is pounding. Try 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. Even just 2 rounds of this can calm your heart rate and ease mental tension. Now, if you're feeling ungrounded or overwhelmed, this next one is a simple way to reconnect with your body. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly, and take a deep breath and say, my body is safe and mine can rest. Sometimes your body just needs reassurance that nothing bad is happening right now. This next one is especially helpful when you feel mentally stuck or trapped in your thoughts. Walk away from the decision, literally. A short walk around the block or even around your home helps reset your system and interrupt that mental loop. And finally, if you're in a space where you can sit or lie down, try a guided meditation. I actually created one specifically for moments like this when you're stuck in overthinking and you need help returning to center. So I'll link it above if you want to try it. Any of these simple resets creates a pause, even just for a moment. And that pause, it gives you space from the spiral. It allows your body to feel safer. And when your body is feeling safer, your thoughts don't feel as urgent. And sometimes that's all it takes to start seeing things more clearly. But at some point, you've thought enough. You've done the research, you run the scenarios, and now it is time to choose. Tool number 3, take a path and set a checkpoint. So when you're standing on the edge of change, it can feel like you are trapped in a long hallway lined with doors, and you wait for a sign for the right one to glow, but none of them do. Because the truth is, there's no perfect door, and the only way out is to pick one. Most doors aren't as dangerous as your brain makes them out to be, and unless you're choosing crime or hard drugs or texting your ex, you're probably going to be fine. Even if the door isn't the one, it gets you out of the hallway. The only wrong move is never walking through any of them. You don't need a perfect plan, you just need one that gets you moving. Every direction teaches you something, and every path holds some form of growth. No one's saying you have to commit forever. Try this instead. Pick one option, give it a real shot, and set a time to reassess. 1 month, 90 days, 6 months, whatever fits the decision. Don't think of this decision as a lifelong contract. Think of it as an experiment. You're not locking yourself in, you're just gathering data. There's a quote I love by John Burroughs, leap and the net will appear. And I have found this to be true again and again. The clarity, the next step, the momentum, it doesn't show up when you're thinking. It shows up when you take action. So what action will you take? If your life was a movie, what would the audience be yelling at the screen right now, begging you to do? Whatever just came to mind, maybe start there. Just because overthinking shows up the loudest right before a life change, that doesn't mean you're not ready. It means you're standing at the edge of something that matters. And the only way forward is through. So if this video helped at all, give it a like so it can reach someone else who's overthinking everything too. And if you're on your own path of change, I'd love to have you here. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.